Down 4, 3. Yo, everybody. Dan, my man, welcome back.
Well, what's up, Peter? How are you?
How are you doing, guys? This is Dan. He's got a great podcast called Ballinakill Buzz, and you should definitely check it out. Dan is 20 years of age, and I like Dano on the show today because you know what? There's a lot of people unhappy about dating right now. A lot of unhappy people in their 30s, their 20s, their 40s, their 50s, 60s. It's the fucking same for every generation I'm seeing at the moment. But Dan, you can tell us in a minute what you think, like, for your age group, because a lot of unhappy people here, like a lot. It's like we've gone back into coronavirus. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, to be honest. Like, just no one seems to be. I think a lot of anyone I know who's going out with someone is going out with them before COVID. Like, there's not many people I actually see are in a relationship from after COVID. Now, a lot of people are as well, but I don't know what it is. Maybe I heard you talking about that could be a post-COVID thing. Are just people just not used to being fucking out with people? Are they have to adapt to it again? I don't know what it is, to be honest. I just think it's very hard to find someone who kind of you click with. I think I don't know, is that a COVID thing? That's what I always find. It's very hard to actually find someone who ticks all the boxes for you. Like, and yeah, I don't know. It's just, yeah, it is a head wreck though. And like, as you say, all the episodes in your podcast is what it's based around. It's a head wreck for a lot of people because it's the toughest thing ever is to find someone who, you know, will say can spend the rest of your life with. Because like, that's the most pressurizing thing ever. Like, you know, to try and find someone like that. So no, it's not easy, like, Peter, no.
And like, do you think it's a laziness, or is it sort of our dark demons came up in coronavirus and we're trying to struggle with our demons, if you get me? You know, like, it wasn't easy. Obviously, coronavirus, everybody knows what it was like. You know, you're climbing the walls with your darkest demon that's in you. Like, is it a combination of both, laziness and demons? Or what do you think for your age group, like?
Yeah, I think I can only speak for myself personally, but I think it's there's probably a slight fear of putting yourself out there as well. That's another thing. Like, is you know, because like if you're to put in effort into someone and you say, look, I like X person or whatever, and you know, when that doesn't work out, and most people you'll find, like, I'm not a big psychologist or anything like that, but most people who I've talked to them before, and I even know myself, like, anyone who's been kind of fucked over a bit in a relationship, or not fucked over so much, but even just kind of didn't go right for them, they do hold back a bit, and that's the human nature, because you don't want to be, you know, you don't want to feel pain, like, so that's people do hold back a bit, and they're not as kind of gung-ho the second or third time, and probably is a bit of laziness as well. I think a lot of people are kind of just out for the ride, which I'm not here to judge. I think that's fine as well. I don't give a fuck what you do, but yeah, I don't know, it's probably a bit of laziness, Peter, yeah, but I don't know. I think there's a lot of fear out there because people hear these horror stories from their friends, like, oh, how someone got cheated on or someone, and people do kind of, I know myself, you do retreat a bit. It's almost like we're too, I think all this stuff of red flags in the last few years, people have come so hyper aware of it. It's like, Jesus, is that a red flag? I can only speak for myself, but you almost kind of think, Jesus, should I be a bit fucking aware of that, or should I be a bit more cautious if they do something like that again? Or so it's probably a combination of a lot of things. But yeah, maybe I think I just overthink a lot of it. I don't know about you, but maybe
no, man. I mean, like, people have asked me, like, people that I know in a bar, club, they're like, oh yeah, listen, I've heard, you know, your stuff on social media or the podcast, and they're like, Jesus, like, even people who are married or in relationships, they're like, Jesus, is it really that fucking bad out there at the moment for everybody? Or are you, like, one person, I was actually happy that I went, are you hyping this? Like, are you bullshitting this? Like, you know, making it into, I went, I swear I am not. And I'm like, everyone is having the same problem over and over and over and over again. It's crazy. For me, I'm fascinated with the psychology part. Like, I can't figure it out. I mean, it was funny because in coronavirus, I was looking up, like, do you remember there was Spanish flu 100 years ago? So, like, I was looking up because I believe in history repeats itself. So I was looking up, okay, well, these people had the same type of scenario back then. And then the roaring 20s came along afterwards. But like, how, like, did everybody go out and just ride each other senseless straight after the Spanish flu, or what, or happened? But there was a bit of a gap. So for maybe about a year, and then people kind of got back to their ways. And then everybody, what seemed to be anyway, riding all around them, men and women. And then I was listening to a psychologist, and they were saying, well, actually 2024 would probably be the time where everybody completely lets their guard down, they relax. And I was thinking, Jesus, 2024, that's like 2 years away. That was only, so it was only last year when I read this article, but maybe there is. I mean, if any, people are listening right now, and if you're wondering, Jesus, what's going to happen? Maybe it is going to just take a bit of time for us. We didn't go on a holiday and come back nice and relaxed mentally, and you're up ready up to the club, fucking getting laid again, this isn't happening. That happens on a holiday. So we went the opposite way this time. We went to fucking jail. Are you really going to be fucking happy coming out of that?
Yeah, no, it did rewire people's brains a bit. I know it's myself, like, and it's because you're not, it's different. Like every day, like before COVID, like it's fairly simple. Like you were used to talking to people, no matter what walk of life you're in, you were going to talk to someone at some stage of the day, unless you completely isolated yourself. But then it came to COVID, just completely switched. Like no one talked to each other anymore, and you did because you weren't allowed, and there was no way you could. You couldn't leave your fucking. There was a point. There was 2K radius and a 5K radius. Like that has to rewire you a bit, even if it does just subconsciously. Like that went on for a long time. Like I know the 2K radius thing went on for a long time, but like the whole situation of like you're only with your family and you're not, people aren't going out on dates. They're not meeting people as much. Like you do kind of have to become. Everyone became reclusive, whether they wanted to or not. So, and that has fucking downfalls. Like it's how you deal with people after, or your conversational skills. Like it all takes a hit, because like it's like a muscle. Like if you're not talking to people all the time, you do start to. It's a skill, really. It is. It's not the easiest thing in the world. And a lot of people who were already struggling with it before COVID, they came back after COVID and were like, "Fuck this!" Like I'm kind of happy with my like little reclusive life. I don't want to do this shit again. So it's interesting how it does rewire your brain a bit, yeah. Because I don't know, it's interesting.
And do you think, like, even just getting away from the dating part alone for now, but do you think, like, what about your friends, like your guy friends, your drinking buddies or whatever? Like, is there a difference just on that alone? Forget about the dating. Just and like, do you go to a house now instead of a club or a bar, or what? How is it working for you guys?
I think I probably didn't really drink before. Like the first time I really drank properly was probably in the middle of COVID, so it's kind of hard to know. It probably always was like at a house or like down a canal or something like that, and then it probably did move to a bar. So I probably didn't have it like yourself. Like you would have drank before COVID, and you would have maybe been in a bar, and then it switched to a house, or switched to wherever, a fucking canal or whatever you want to put in there. But yeah, I think the dynamic of a lot of things like that changed, because like you didn't. It was a lot more like you drink in like groups of, like, rather than, so before COVID, you'll say you would have gone to a nightclub, there'd be hundreds of people there. You gone to a pub, like you're surrounded by loads of people you don't know, or like people you just randomly talk to. But then obviously like it gets to COVID and you're kind of just in a house with 4 or 5 of your friends and probably the dog or something, and it's just kind of having the crack there. So you're not even on a night out, like yourself, you could be pissed and you just end up talking to some randomer, like, and which is kind of half the fun of it. I think that's kind of what I missed the most about. That's what I kind of loved when COVID kind of ended, was you kind of just got to mix with loads of people on night out. You'd nearly talk to other people more than half your friends for half the night. You just end up talking to some randomer in a smoking area or in a toilet or something like that. So, but yeah, that's probably the main thing that is it changed from a pub to a house. Yeah, that's probably the main thing with the friends.
And you being 20, are you in college?
Yeah.
You are. So when was your first year in college?
I started in September 2021.
Jesus. Okay. So in Corona fucking virus itself. So,
yeah. So
like, what was that like for you, where in 2020, you're in 6th year, and then you did your leaving in 6th year, in 2020?
Yeah. Or 2021. Yeah.
So like, what was that isolation like? Were you allowed to go to college at that stage when you started?
Yeah, we were kind of back to normal. Like we still had to wear masks, I think, for the first. Wait, did we? Yeah, we had to wear masks until about March. But it was actually grand though. Like there was a few things we missed. Like there wasn't. I'm trying to. There was a few little activities that we couldn't do, and it was a bit of restrictions. But like when it came to that stage, we were kind of halfway out of it. I know it didn't really finish till like March or April 2022, but yeah, we kind of got the best deal of it because like we didn't really have to sit the leaving cert, and we still got our debs and stuff like that. And then so we were kind of the year that came out of it. Like the year before us was like the real COVID year. Like they did get fucked over. Like they got nothing.
Oh, I can't imagine.
No, I'd say that's horrific. Like because they don't have any. We have some memories of it. Like we got our grad, we got our debs, like we got stuff like that. And even the first year of college, like we got, the pubs were open, everything was open. Like there was no restrictions on any of that. So, yeah, no, I count myself fairly lucky that we were very lucky. We got a very lucky year. Like, but yeah, it fucked a lot of people had a tough year with that COVID. They really did in school. Like they didn't get to finish on the high you kind of deserved out of secondary school.
Oh, it's hard to get your head around that. How you missed out in your first year of college. Oh my God. I can't fucking figure that one out at all. I can't get my head around it. Like, Jesus Christ. And like, I mean, I was telling you some of the, like, I was even telling some of the lads there, some of my dating stories, just back to that. And like even I've been trying to go on dates there now recently, and I even took notes the other day, and I tried to go on 5 dates recently. 5, right? And one, I was texting her. She blocks me. I don't know, for no reason. Now, this is for people just in case, thinking, hey, Jesus, can I get a date? This is out of 5 now, people. All right, 5. So one blocks me, and she was like, hey, how's it going, Peter? Because I text her first, And so then she goes, oh, hey, how's it going, Peter? Yeah, good to talk to you. And then I must have tried to text her back about an hour later, blocked on WhatsApp, because you get the one tick and you can't see their last seen at all anymore. By the way, if anybody didn't know that, that's a good way to know that if you got blocked or not. If it's only one tick, guys, and you can't see their last scene, but if they did have their last scene on before that, you're probably blocked. Then there was this other girl, and met her on a really quick date for like about a half an hour for a coffee in town. She was acting really weird. Then I asked her out. She canceled the first date, tried to go on a second with her. And then, I'm just trying to remember now. And then she canceled again. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. But yet, here's the thing. Between the first and second time I went on a date, she's telling me that she's looking for a relationship, and she's asking me all these questions on text and this and that. I'm like, geez, okay, well, maybe she is interested, because you're thinking, was she really interested now? She canceled on the first one, and then that happened. Then I'm on Bumble. I matched with this girl, and she said, hey, smiley face. I tried to log into Bumble, see if she was still online. She deleted her account straight after she texted me. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then what was the other one? It'll a brain fart now. And then I went on a date actually last Friday. What a horrific show that was. That was fucking horrific. Met this girl anyway in a bar the week before. I said, look, we should go out. We should talk sometime. Text her that week. Met her last Friday. And she comes into the bar. Now, this would be an interesting one for the ladies here, because I asked her, does she want a drink? And she said, yeah, I'll get a cocktail. I went, cocktail? Now, this is like 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'm thinking, all right, well, that's a bit strong to start off with, but Jesus Christ, like, it was fucking 14 quid, right?
Was it, yeah?
14 quid, man. Like, and I'm one of those guys. I'd be the old school kind of guy where if I'm asking a girl out, I'm expecting to pay for her drinks. So I'm not bitching about the price, because, hey, you man up, you fucking pay for the drinks. So, but I was just like, hang on, a little bit of an alarm bell started going off. So any ladies that are listening to this is what us men think. Well, I do anyway in this situation. You're thinking, uh-oh. Is she looking for just fucking free drink now for the night out? And I'm like, oh no, here we go. So anyway, I kind of relaxed, stayed in the date, had about 4 or 5, went to a different bar. We ended up kissing for about 2 minutes, which was okay. And then, out of nowhere, she disappears. She didn't say goodbye, just gone. I'm like, what the fuck? So I contact her the next day, And I said, hey, what happened last night? What's going on? And I'm still trying to piece back together what happened the night before. So I wasn't sure that she did leave yet. I was like, what? She didn't leave. No way. And she was like, no, you left me. I went, no, I didn't leave you. Not a hope in hell. And I know myself when I was remembering the night. And then she goes, well, look, I'm just not interested anyway, to be honest. I went, right. So why couldn't you just fucking say that? And why not just call the date over? Just call the date. You know what, Peter? Thanks, but I got to go home. I don't see the problem. I literally don't see the problem just owning up straight up and being honest. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think a lot of lads, I don't know why people can't just be honest, because I don't know. That's all I would really ask for either. Someone just be straight up, because I'd much rather that than like someone dragging you along and trying to be nice to you, and then you find out 6 months later they didn't like you anyway. As like, I could have been doing a lot other better shit than trying to fucking please someone who I knew already didn't like me. So yeah, it's a fucking headache though, because it does sap your confidence a lot, because you're kind of thinking like, what do I have to fucking do? Because like, there's no one, I don't care what anyone says, there's no one who isn't there is someone, I think, for everyone. I that's obviously a very idealistic way to look at it, but I think there actually is. And no one's that fucking terrible or imperfect, unless you're like a mass murderer, you're completely evil, or a psychopath or something. There is someone for you, and like there is, people do deserve to have someone in their life, and I think people don't really think about that. And I try to remind myself that sometimes, like, you don't, you deserve nice things. Like, you deserve to have a fucking girlfriend. You deserve to have, you're not. I think people, the second something goes wrong, like the stories you're going on about, which are fucking horrific, really shit stories, people kind of almost gear to themselves like, oh, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, where in reality, she's, as you say, she's the one who walked off. Like, it's not, maybe she didn't like you personally, but that's like, that was still a bad thing to do. So that's not, whereas she mightn't have liked you, that doesn't mean that you should blame yourself for someone walking out on a fucking date and doing the Irish goodbye. Like, that's, yeah, I don't know.
I know, man. And, I can take a smack at chin, like, as they say. And Jesus, like, I've even those 4 or 5 different scenarios now with different girls, even I've said, Jesus Christ, am I too old? Am I not fucking okay? They're not attracted to me. Am I a dick? Like, I've literally questioned it all, even though I'm still like trying to help people with the dating scenarios and trying to tell them, hey guys, a lot of people are having these problems right now, and I have to remind myself what I'm telling people, and I do. And actually, to be honest, it does help as well, the fact that I'm doing this, because it does go, well, hang on. People are having these problems as well. It's bizarre, man. It's bizarre. It's fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
And what about yourself? Would you like a relationship right now, or would you just like to date? Or
yeah, no, I'd like a relationship. I think that's the only thing I'd go in for. Like, I wouldn't be that'd be the only way I'd be geared. I couldn't, like, I was recording the yoke yesterday on like polyamory and shit even as well, and that just would be completely like, oh, not polyamory. I know that's not the road I'm going down, but like, I just, relationship 100%. I don't want just a fuck buddy or something like that, or even just to kind of go on dating and fucking keep swiping people on Tinder and stuff. The dating apps even I had to delete. I couldn't keep looking at them. Like, it just fucking drain you. And there's all these options. You're looking at someone and like, you're swiping right on someone and you don't actually, you're kind of going on looks. Let's be honest. There's fucking nothing really that you're going to see from their personality on Tinder. And I just hated that. That'd just make me sick. Like, and I know in fairness, they do. I'm sure people do meet people on Tinder. I'm not. It's just, for me, I just don't see the personality side of it. Like, you have to see what someone's actually like. I'm not gonna. I can't judge your character or how much crack you are or whatever, like, by a few pictures of you on a night out. Like, I don't really care. So now, but I have a slight I have a bit of a development at the moment. So I think I was telling you that actually when I had you on my podcast, so it's still going. But actually it'd show how low in fucking confidence I am. I actually was asking her out, and she won't hear this anyway, so it's fine. But I was asking her out, and just whatever. It was a few weeks ago, I'd say, and I said, "Oh, would you?" I'm trying to think what exactly I was going to say, but I think before, she reminded me of it last week. She was like, do you remember what you said when you asked me out? And I was like, no, what exactly? I remember I stuttered a bit, but she was like, before you, it was like, yeah, well, before you actually asked me out, you were like, yeah, no, just before I say this, if you don't want to, if you're not interested, don't worry about it. Like, I won't be offended or anything. And like, I said it 2 or 3 times, like, oh yeah, I was like, oh yeah, would you like to go out for a drink or something? I was like, oh, by the way, if you don't want it, it's fine. I won't mind or anything. I was like, even if you decide after that you don't want to go, you can text me and say you don't want to go. And I kept like saying that, and I kind of think back to it as like, if someone asked you out like that, you'd be a bit kind of like, fucking hell, did they even know what they want themselves? Like, they're asking. That would show like I actually really do like her, and I really wanted to ask her out, and I was almost shaking because that's how nervous I was. But it just showed level of, and that's like a lot of lads. A lot of lads are just scared to ask her, and I that was probably the most terrifying thing I've had to do. You know, like, I'm not a brave fucking person at all, but I knew it that like I had a few hours to kind of, brave myself up and think, look, you're either going to do it now or you're never going to do it. So I think that's a lot of people's problem. Maybe they just don't really go for it that much. Like, you do kind of have to have a bit of a fucking c'est la vie kind of YOLO mentality to it sometimes. Like, this is the only chance you're going to get. Sometimes I don't know, that's the way I have to think about it sometimes. Like, just why not go for it now? There's no point waiting for 3 weeks, because there's not going to be a perfect time when you can do it. I don't know, that's what I think on it.
No, that's honest, man. I like that. You know what I think it is? I think it's like people put too much pressure on themselves. In other words, oh, I should be confident. I need to be confident to talk to women. And so, like, in their head, subconsciously, they're raising this bar way up here, even though they're not feeling it. And all of a sudden, then you're thinking, oh, Jesus, I can't jump over that fucking bar. There's no way. The standard's way too high. So then you're thinking, so in one way, you've kind of psyched yourself out over it. So like what I did straight after Corona, and actually through Corona, and people might laugh at this, and I don't know, we might have talked on your podcast, but for me to get over that anxiousness, because people would say that, oh, Peter, he's either a cocky or confident guy, and I can be mistaken for cocky. Fine. But I'm not. But the thing is, I was feeling shaky, anxious after Corona because I didn't go for a fucking date for about 1.5 years, 2 years. Jeez, I mean, it was unbelievable. So like, I was like, all right, I got to fucking jump in. It was the hard part, getting back into it again. And I just went into town every single day, stopped women on the street, anybody who I thought was hot. And I said, hey, you know, whatever, like, I think you're gorgeous. Is there any chance I get your number? 9 out of 10 said no. Actually, no, it was about 1 out of 20 I got a phone number. But I kept doing this every single fucking time I was in town until I got over the anxiousness again. And I got used to the anxiousness. I pushed through, and actually that's what helped me to get back to feeling like myself again. But then the problem is then the other person feels anxious. It takes two to tango. So it was for now, it was a bit of a waste, but still, you know, I think you just got to do it. Like that, you know what I mean? Like, I was fucking terrified the first date I went back on again. I couldn't believe I was anxious. Couldn't fucking believe it. I was like, whoa, this is fucked up, man. I was shaky. I just wanted to go home. I remember being outside about 2 minutes before when I got to the bar, and I went, I just want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home. Fuck this. Fuck this. Fuck this. Fuck this. And I went, Peter, just fucking do it. Just fucking do it. You know, kind of like going to the gym, you know, you think, oh, I don't want to go, but then you do it and you're fucking grand again. I actually think dating has got to that level where it's like going to the fucking gym until you get over that anxiousness, fear, and you just push through it for a little while and you'll be okay then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it is true. Yeah. Like, the first that I was ever on was like 3 weeks ago. Like, I don't do dates. I've never been on. No, I suppose like I'm only fucking 20, so. But I've never on any bit of a date, even going for a drink with someone. Like, I didn't. It's even like, now in fairness, neither of us were actually drinking because I had a match the next day. But we'll hopefully organize something in the near future. But yeah, it's weird because you don't know. You'd be a lot, like, your whole podcast is based around it, but like, you know, you've been on a lot of dates and you understand the way it works. But like, I was going in, I was like, Jesus, like, the only things I was thinking was like, right, you're gonna pay for the fucking food, obviously. It's the first date the lad pays. Pay for that. I couldn't think of anything else. It was just like, dress as nice as you can and just fucking present yourself in a good way. That was all I could think. I didn't really know. Like, it was like I was just going into uncharted water. So I was fucking bricking it. And I know you're I know that feeling you're on about is like, fuck this, like get me out of here, like.
Yeah, get me out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, it's not fun, like, it's not fun.
No,
Definitely not.
And when you're saying about the about buying dinner now for the girl, like did you go on a dinner date or was it drinks or what did you go?
It was a dinner date, yeah, because no, I kind of had a match the next day, so I was kind of saying, look, if you want to drink, you can drink. I'm not gonna. It's just I can't drink, and I was kind of apologetic about it because but yeah, it was just a dinner date, just 2 dinners and few cokes, like that was it. And I paid for everything, like, so I didn't want to, and I didn't want to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pay and I'm gonna be this big fucking big hero like who pays. I was just like, look, I don't want anything returned. I just want to pay. That's just what I want to do. Like, so it's not. You don't have to like, you can thank me if you want. I didn't say it like that, but like, I don't want to be seen as this big hero. I was like, look, we can split things from now on or whatever. I don't want, I'm not going to bully you out of paying things for now. It's just the first date. I just kind of thought of just something I wanted to do, like, so.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's the old school way, like. But I heard a lot of stories about these days where like your age group really and a little bit older, where they where a lot of it now is the sort of the gender equality and all this, and women are the Me Too movement and all this, where women are actually demanding that no, we go 50-50. Is there a lot of that going on at the moment in general?
There probably is, yeah, and I probably wouldn't be the one to ask because, as I say, I haven't been on many dates. But now she kind of offered to pay half, and I was like, which I suppose anyone probably would, like, you're not going to be like, right, I'm going to pay for the food. It's like, right, go on, pay it. So, but yeah, there probably is a lot because that traditional thing of like, yeah, the lad pays in the first date probably is eroding a bit. It's not really there anymore. But I think most lads kind of want to do it. I don't even think they do it to get anything in return. Like, I didn't do it for her to like me more. I just I can genuinely, honestly say, maybe some lads do it to do that, but I genuinely just wanted to do it. I don't know, it just made me feel a bit more comfortable if I paid. I just would feel a bit, it's like I'd feel guilty or something, even if it was half splits, like I'd feel a bit, I don't know what it was. So I don't know. I'm glad I did it anyway, so. No,
that's good for you, man, because, and ladies, the ones who are listening to this episode, this is 2 men talking about we like to pay. It makes you also feel better. It's not about control. Please remember that. It is not about control. There's, yes, a small percentage of dudes out there that, they're hoping that you'd sleep with them on the first night. Again, a small percentage, ladies, right? Whereas I think a lot of women, they mistake it where they think, oh, if this guy now pays for me tonight, he's going to assume I'm coming home with them. And I remember I had a social media, there was war over this one on social media. And woman was, yeah, he assumes, Peter, I'm going to go home with him, and he thinks he's going to control me. I'm like, no. Easy. I said, no. I said, look, ladies, coming from a guy's point of view, most guys, they want to pay because, one, it's the kind of the thing to do, old school wise, conventional, you've asked the girl out on the date. I said, second, he's like, if he's looking for the ride night one and he doesn't want anything else, he might pay for it hoping that you'd sleep with him, but he doesn't assume that you'd sleep with him. Like, there's a big difference here, don't you think?
Like, yeah, like it's not prostitution money, like, to pay for the dinner. Like, It's not. I think that's kind of what. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand it. But no, like, as I said, like, I said it profusely. Like, the second I was paying, it's look, I don't want anything in return. Don't think that this is something that, like, there's some trade off. Like, because I'm just paying for dinner. That's just what I want to do. So,
good for you, man.
From now on, it'd probably be splits, to be honest. Like, and I might pay for the odd thing or whatever. So it's very equal. Like, I wouldn't. But it's not something. I think people try to get in a row with that, and as you said, a Me Too movement, and some people who are like overly, try to be overly feminist or whatever the word is, like, who try to. And when you talk about overly feminist, it's more kind of just they hate fucking men. It's no, you said that's fucking traditional, and that's not the way it should be, and that's women are submissive and you're in control of us. I said, like, I'm sorry, I just wanted to pay for a dinner. Like, I didn't think it was that complicated. Like, but
yeah, it's ridiculous, man. I mean, there's like a mental fucking war mind game going on when it's time to pay for drinks or pay for the dinner, or it's such a fucking minefield, man. It's unbelievable. And then it was funny, actually. I don't know if you ever heard this one. one person commented on social media. They were on about how much money a woman would spend on a first date. But then actually they were tying it in with what one of my friends used to say a few years ago. Like my buddy said that he knew this gay guy that was working in the model industry, right? So, there's a lot of gay men that would work as hairstylists or whatever, right? So this guy knew the pulse of the women, dealing with the models. And this guy said that women would spend up to 300 euros on a first date, on her hair, nails, manicure, whatever the fuck women get. And I was like, yeah, come on. And he's like, I'm telling you, man. And some of the comments, they were like, well, I might spend 50 quid. I don't want to go too far, but 50, 100 quid getting the nails done. Or like, what's it like for your age? Do you know?
It's probably, I don't know. I think 300. Yeah, that's probably an outlier, wouldn't it be? No, but yeah, I think probably 50 quid.
Sorry to interrupt you. The fact that not a lot of people date, but just in general, when women go out, your age group, even just with their girly friends, like, would they be dolling themselves up this much, or would it just be on a date, or what do you think?
Yeah, no, I think they do. I think they doll themselves up equally. Now, and I don't know, is that to impress lads, or is that just sometimes just to make them feel good about themselves, which is, more power to them. Like, it's none of my business. But yeah, I think they probably would. Like, I don't know in the region of what they'd actually spend, but yeah, for a day, like, they'd all obviously have their tan and their makeup, and they'd obviously all wear, and then but yeah, I don't think there'd be any difference if a girl is on a night out to when she's on a date, particularly. I don't think so. Maybe in my experience, there's not. I think women do love dolling themselves up, especially, I think my age, it's a big thing. Is there's a big, what's the word? There's a big emphasis on how, I don't know, there's more of a focus. I think there never was a focus on lads about how they dress themselves. Like, lads go out in a pair of jeans and a fucking just raggy old t-shirt, and they kind of seem to get away with it. But then, yeah, women, I suppose, like your age as well, Peter. Like, they always were critiqued a bit more and judged a bit more. They're probably at as they say, the male gaze a bit more. So, but yeah, it is definitely noticeable that they doll themselves up a good bit.
Yeah, it is, man. And what do you think of? It was funny. I was watching some stuff on YouTube only a few weeks ago, and what led me into watching it was a conversation I had with my buddy about all these posers on TikTok these days. You get a girl who's, let's say she's a 6 or a 7 out of 10, right? But she's getting like millions of followers, millions of likes, millions of comments. And we were talking about all this anyway, but I was telling him about one of the dates, or one of the girls that canceled on me on the date. It was funny because I looked up her TikTok afterwards, right? And I was kind of thinking, wonder if this girl got a boyfriend. So, as we all do, the little bit of a stalk on social media, see what's going on. And I was just looking at some of her profile, her videos that she put up, and she's dolled up in the evening wear, and then she's got a caption, blonde bombshell, and no matter how good I look, I always smell better. And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, Peter, why did you look up her social media before the fucking date, man? I would have known, this is what I'm dealing with. And I'm sorry, ladies, but, putting up this shit on social media, how gorgeous you are. Like, if somebody says that you're gorgeous, that's okay. But you saying that you're gorgeous in a video of yours on your social media account looks incredibly, what's the word? Desperate? Vain? Both?
Yeah, I think it's almost, to me, yeah, I don't know. And there's also a level of like how fucking intimidating it is, because if they're that confident in themselves, what are they going to expect from you as well? So I would steer clear. Now, I think as I said, there's someone for everybody. Like, there is a lad who would be attracted to that confidence. Like, there's, I think everyone, maybe it wouldn't suit either of us, but like, I can only kind of say what I'd be interested in. It's just someone who's just wouldn't be posting everything they do on fucking social media, and is just a bit more low key and doesn't live this supposedly fucking flash lifestyle and just lives very simply. I don't know. I just kind of into that. I just I wouldn't, as you're saying, that thing of flashing themselves all over social media, because the attention they're getting from other lads as well would kind of scare me a bit, because I think when lads feel real confident, they can deal with that other lads texting them, and they probably have A, confidence in themselves that they're as good as that lad, or that, and B, the confidence that their woman is loyal to them. But I wouldn't have that confidence.
Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with these people? Some of them, I really don't get why it's all about the social media. And I wonder, does this affect dating itself? I was even having a real good think about this for about 2 days, a couple of weeks ago. You know, the fact that TikTok, Instagram, and you can post whatever the fuck up and get so much attention from men, women, does it actually affect dating terms? In other words, they're getting their validation online, so now there's no more need for a date. Or do you think that's the same thing, or is it totally separate? Or does it change the dating world at all? What do you think?
It probably does change it a bit, yeah, because like as you say, you're getting validation online. Like that's something that's only a recent thing. Like there's so many people comment on their photos, people liking their photos, sliding into their DMs. Like that's the thing that's so recent. Like, so maybe it does add another thing to them, that they're not as. I don't think it replaces the. I don't know. Do these people actually want to be with someone? I don't actually. Something tells me deep down they probably do, but I think they'd prefer the attention and to get the odd ride for themselves. I think that's kind of their priority, to be honest. I don't know. Like when you look at a lot of these people, I don't think their big life goal is to have a partner for 50 years and to die happily in each other's arms. Like I don't think that's. They don't give off that fucking impression anyway. So maybe that is deep rooted in them. Maybe when they turn 30 or 40, that's what they want to do and settle down. But like if you get to 30 or 40 and you want to settle down, like it's kind of too late for a lot of these, because like look, as I say, everyone lives their own life. I don't really care. But if you're kind of going to go around acting like that for 10, 15 years, it's going to be very hard to find someone to settle down with, because anyone decent has probably been snapped up by the time you decide you want to settle down. Like, so yeah, it's an interesting. What would you think?
I still haven't come to a conclusion in my head. I mean, it's got to. Do you know what I think it is? I'll fuck it. Yeah, I'll stand by this for now. I think it's in a great way. It's good that you do see all these posers, men and women. Let's be honest. You know, there's both, and you know they're fucking the dude with the shirt off and the chick showing her ass. You know, love for Afghanistan, but she's showing her ass too at the same time. Like, fuck off. You know, and ladies, that's what we think, by the way, when you see her. We're like, oh, fuck off. You know, like, give me a break. We know exactly what you're doing. And I think actually, in a way, it's a great thing because it shows us who you're dealing with. So, like, all you got to do, if you're going to go on a date, all right, what's this girl like? Is she on TikTok? Yeah. Is she posting up? Yeah. Okay. Is she posting stuff of her ass? Well, then you know exactly who you're dealing with. If you want to go on a date with her, perfect. Brilliant. Okay, because that's what I like. But if you don't like her, well, then, hey, now you know what you're dealing with. Do you know? It exposes us. It exposes us, whoever it is, what you do online. I think it can be a good thing. It can be a good thing. You know?
Yeah.
It's definitely shone the spotlight in a lot of our faces where it'd say, okay, now you got center stage. You coming up or not? And then people just can't help themselves. They'll go up on that stage, boy. They'll go up on that fucking stage. Do you know?
Yeah. I don't know what it was like. I'd love to see what it was actually like in the 90s and 80s, because people have this thing of kind of romanticizing it, like, oh yeah, everyone just kind of fell in love in the age. There was no deceit, or there was no cheating, or there was no bad shit happening. I was like there fucking was. It's just it just gets blown out of proportion. Yeah, there was. Of course there was. But I'd like to see what it was actually like back then, because it does seem like people are kind of going, this is the worst generation of dating ever, and people do love to blow things out of proportion. I think the thing when you have social media as well, things are all documented and everyone's telling each other their stories, and it probably does just add a lot of fuel to the fire, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I was 15, 16. This was in the 90s, man. I was going out to clubs, bars when I was 15, 16. They barely ask you for ID most of the places. It wasn't 21 or 23. They just go, all right, he's not 18, but yeah, fuck him. Let's let him in. And like, there was no such thing as mobile phones. Like, there was not a fucking phone in sight. And it was weird, but you're right. Like, people were fucking cheating. You know, they were. But actually, I think, like you're kind of saying, you can see now what people are like. I would have loved the mobile phone back in the 90s when I was going out at the start, because I could have checked up that chick beforehand, you know? Like it's so much advantages. But then, yeah, addiction to your phone then is just, it's a fucking killer, man. It's a fucking killer.
Yeah, the impact the phone has on the actual social media and technology has on dating and stuff is kind of interesting. It's something I've kind of been looking at a bit. Like on one side you have, it's good because like, so I mean, sorry, back in like the 90s or 80s, like when there was, you know, no real technology or phones or whatever as we're like connected to dating, that was good in a way because like, let's say you liked someone or something on a night out or something, you won't get a second chance with them. Like most likely you might see them at that club again, but like the chances are you're not going to get their Snapchat or Instagram. So it's like, if you don't go for it now, you know, get the number off them or something like that. If you don't make a move tonight, you never know, and that could be fucking eating away at you for the rest of your life. And then the other side of it, I suppose, is like, the other side is like this. If you know this, if you did have the phones, that is, as you say, you can check someone the night before or before you go on your night out, and yeah, and there's obviously the communicate things are ever. I suppose there's a lot more options, and things are kind of, the world is so much smaller now that the fact you can just go on and search someone up, and so I don't know which is better. I think I would have preferred something maybe in the middle. That like, I think maybe we have too much choice a lot of the time. It's like there's so many. You're looking at Tinder and there's hundreds of fucking faces, and maybe it overwhelms you a bit. I don't know. It's just me.
Well, I remember 10 years ago, Tinder was so much better. Bumble was so much better. You're getting matches. Everybody was getting matches left, right, and center 10 years ago. But problem is that now they've shut down their algorithm where you got to pay. And in fairness, you got, like, you can't blame them. Like they gave it to us for free for how long? Like 6-7 years. People were hooking up left, right, center. It's like they had to get some business. But like, guys, you know, if anybody's listening and you're on Tinder or Bumble, like that's what's going on. They've shut down the algorithm. They want you to pay that super boost of whatever it is, 60 quid. They want you to pay or 40 quid or whatever. You know, they want to make some money. And so people are, you know, they're bitching about the dating apps, but fuck, we had it good for 10 years, man. Like real good for fucking 10 years. It was, Jesus Christ. The amount of women I hooked up with in the last 10 years, just from Tinder alone, was fucking unreal. Like, it was unreal. And they, I think it was, as far as I remember, when they brought out that Tinder Passport. Now, if anybody doesn't know what that is, Tinder Passport is, you can pay for a subscription. You go to, like, if you're going to London tomorrow, you can change your location. You're swiping in London. And, like, they opened that up there at the start for free. I mean, that fucking unreal, man. You know? Like, you go on a 2-week holiday with the lads, or you go into London for the weekend. Bang, there you go. Let's see what happens. And you're doing that a week before you're off. So, like, you're sitting on that couch happy as a pig in shit. I mean, it was fucking unbelievable. And, like, even now, in fairness, okay, you've got to pay, I think it's 60 quid now for a super boost, and you get, quote, 100 times more matches, but you don't, man. You don't.
There's no way you can, because you're still being matched with the same people. It's just like fact they give you more swipes, or like you're actually seeing who you've matched with or who likes you. It's the only real difference. Like,
it is, man. It is. And yeah, it's fucked right now. And what do you think of WhatsApp now with your generation? Like, do people get I presume that this is probably a dumb question, but like, people for your age group now, do you get paranoid, even if it's a friend or family member for business or dating? Like, do people lose their minds if you get 2 blue ticks, they've read your message, and then they log off? Like, is that a big thing for 20-year-olds?
Yeah, I think it's like WhatsApp, you can compare it to anything. Yeah, the WhatsApp be the blue ticks, and whatever Snapchat would be the fucking open mail thing. Yeah, it fucking does drive people crazy, because it, especially with, like, you know, if you're trying to impress a girl or something and leave you unopened, and it's I can't tell you how much overthinking it, and it exhausts me. And part of me, to be honest, doesn't ever want to fucking see a woman, to be honest, because I know how much it exhausts me, how much I eat myself alive. And I don't talk about this, but it does, you eat yourself alive. And it takes away so much good about yourself, because you just turn into this, you just turn fucking irritable because you start doubting yourself. Oh, they open my message, and you just turn fucking irritable, and you just turn into a fucking person you don't even want to be around yourself. And you can understand why no one else would want to be around it, because you're like, you just get fucking irritable, and you put all your value into, I was talking to someone about this, you put all your value into someone liking you, and you're so interested in them that you put more value into them than you do into your own fucking happiness. And you're just like, once they have some bit of respect for me, or some sliver of hope that I could be with them, it's like nothing else actually matters. And it's the most unhealthy fucking, like, it is so unhealthy. Like, and when you're trying to jump through fucking hoops, and we were talking about this, jumping through hoops for someone who wouldn't even, wouldn't do fucking anything for you. Like, it's so exhausting. And to be honest, I hate 90% of it. I really don't enjoy it at all. And I always said I'd never go into that hookup fucking culture either, because I know that would never, I know I'd wake up one day, and it's grand for, and one thing I do is I never judge what anyone does, but I know I'd wake up one morning and say, no, this isn't me. Like, and so I don't know, it just exhausts me, to be honest. It's not something I'm overly happy with trying to pursue a girl a lot of the time, because it does wreck your fucking head. But look, maybe in the end it's worth it. So it is a form of kind of insanity in a way, but yeah, I don't know. That's my little sob story over it. But yeah,
no, man. I tell you now, I see a lot of unhappy people on my social media every day. I mean, it's fucking horrendous. And even when I went out on that date last Friday, there was a part of me, I was happy enough, right? Finally, a date, and I was thinking, look, it doesn't matter if she likes me or not. I'm just going on a fucking date, and like but then I was on the way into town to meet her, and even before I just got there, I had this just little devil on my shoulder saying, oh, this isn't going to fucking work out. This is going to be a load of fucking bollocks, a load of horseshit. You must just fucking go home. I'm like, whoa. And I was trying to be self-aware. I was like, whoa, easy there, Peter. Fucking hell. So like when you're saying it's exhausting, I get it, man. Like, and my natural state is I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. I really am. I've always been like that. But, we all have problems. But like, that's not me. Fucking that little chip on your shoulder eating away, fucking biting away at you, in my head. And it actually did kind of unease me for a little bit. And then I was like, okay, just relax. And then she got there and she asked for the cocktail, and that kind of just set me back a little bit. But then I was like, oh, God. So, like, I get that people are edgy. I totally get it. And exhausted. It's just... Do you know what? Like, do you know what it is, man? None of us have ever been through anything like this before in our lives. And coronavirus. And none of us have ever been through anything like this in dating world in our lives. So if you got those two extremes, well, they have to have some connection there. If that makes any sense, what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different era, yeah. But I always think, like, it shouldn't be this fucking difficult. Like, and I think if there's two people who are actually trying and making an effort both sides, I think you'll find it's probably easy enough. Now, it's never easy, but it's easier. I think maybe the problems I'm having is that, like, it's not one-sided, but that you put in more effort than another person. And maybe that's where the fucking stress comes from. It's like, oh, why don't they like me or whatever? So because they're not texting you back, you can't keep double, triple, quadruple texting someone and expecting to fucking love you. Because you have to understand the natural. I'm big, as I say, I'm big into psychology of it. If you keep texting someone, like, women smell desperation, like, they do smell desperation, and I'm very cognizant of that sometimes. Just not to smother someone, just leave them alone a bit. Text them. If they don't text you back, it might eat you alive for one day or something. But like, the only way to scratch that itch is to text them again. But it's not always the fucking. It might feel better at the time to do that, but it's not. Trust me, it's not the way to go. You know yourself, it's not the way to go all the time.
No, definitely not. And we've all been there. We've all texted that girl back again. You're like, fuck, what's wrong with me? Yeah. We've all fucking been there, boy. Yeah. And like, do you think for your generation now, since Corona and since people aren't dating as much, do you think that people are putting their time and efforts into other things like getting fitter. Like I've heard a couple of stories that a lot more young people these days are they're going to the gym more. Is that what's going on more, do you think? Or what do you think?
There's kind of a community of one thing I've noticed on Instagram actually, and I don't know if you've seen this at all, but there's a community of kind of like, it's like subtle kind of incels almost. And it's like they got hurt when they were younger and they kind of have this chip on their shoulder and they're like, no, that's not happening again. And they're kind of these guys who are real fucking gym obsessed. And it's a lot of lads my age now, and there's probably every age, but there's a lot of lads and they have this serious chip. And I've talked to one or two of them and they're really nice guys, this chip on their shoulder, and they just have this kind of wariness of fucking fear almost to women, and they don't want to go near. And it's not so much in Ireland. I just kind of see a lot on social media more so. I don't know all of them personally, but yeah, there is definitely a thing that, and men and women, and there is this divide even on fucking TikTok and stuff, and these generalizations are thrown up, like the likes of, what was it I saw the other day? I can't remember what it was exactly, but it's all these little general. You look at a TikTok video, it's like, oh, men want this or women want this, and it's all like split in the middle. It's like, you do realize there's a fair few billion women and men on Earth. Like, I don't think they're all exactly the same. Like, but yeah, that's one thing I've noticed, that kind of subtle incel thing, that there's this chip on their shoulder and they just got hurt once or twice in their life and just kind of, once bitten, twice shy kind of thing. They just kind of naturally stay away from relationships for the rest of their life. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. It's, I don't know when this is all gonna, I honestly feel that it's never gonna stay this way though. It's gonna get back to a place where, like the roaring 20s back in the days, where people were just fucking riding all around them, partying all the time. I think it'll swing. It's got, two extremes, and it is the extreme the other way right now. It's gotta swing the other way. If there's night, there's day. If there's day, there's night. If there's north, there's south, east, west. But yeah, it's every generation. It's fucking bizarre, man.
Yeah,
fucking bizarre.
I think there'll always be good people, though. I think there's still. I do still believe that maybe I'm just a bit too fucking airy-fairy to understand that there's badness in the world, but there is a lot. I think most people are good. Like, I think deep down, maybe if the person, let's say you're texting someone or whatever, you think, oh, these just are fucking me over, but maybe they're just kind of too scared to say they don't like you, and maybe they are actually a good person if they met someone they did like. I think I do always hold on to that. I think most people are good people. I know that's hard to hold on to sometimes when you've been fucked over, and I know that's easy for me to sit back as a 20-year-old who hasn't experienced maybe as much as the likes of yourself or other people have in the dating world. Exactly, which is tough when you get fucked over that many times. But yeah, I don't know. That's just what I try to hold on to. I don't think there's as many bad people in the dating world as people like to think sometimes.
Yeah, I think we're all attracted to the toxic, the negative most of the time. I think that's the story. Like, and what do you make of? I think it's gonna be. I could get in trouble for this one now. I could get fucking in trouble for bringing this up, but I'm fucking doing it anyway. It's my podcast, ladies. So I'm sorry now if I'm gonna upset anybody. But I think it's important if you guys know that, girls, that not a lot of us guys like this. What do you make of women who powerlift?
Yeah, I don't really have an opinion. I just more power to them. Yeah. So,
fair enough. Fair. A neutral response.
Yeah, that's all I think to it. Why? What do you think yourself?
Well, no, I wasn't trying to set you up on that one now. I was only bringing up because literally I am not attracted to women who powerlift. And, I agree with you. Hey, fucking do whatever you want. But I don't understand where this thing has come from. And no, ladies, I'm not trying to control you. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. You do what you want, and that's cool. It's just not attractive for me. And it's bizarre. Like, and the main reason why I brought it up is it's like the new thing. I mean, if this was so important to women or men, surely women would have been doing this 1,000 years ago, as it would just be, a very, very important need to people out there in general. But a lot of people are doing it now. And like some of the fucking weights women are lifting, you're like, Jesus, man, I'd fucking struggle with that almost. Do you know? Like, I gotta give them that. Fair fucks to them for a lot of them, because they've obviously put a lot of work in, And, you know, to get that stage where they're benching some weight, man. It's such a thing now these days.
Yeah. The fitness industry, the whole thing, it's broadened so much. Like fitness used to just be Arnold Schwarzenegger curling a few dumbbells or some lad fucking running around a track, like, but it's so, there's so much to it now. But yeah, I think the thing you said about powerlifters, you know, like everyone's entitled to have some, you know, to have to dislike something about someone saying, no, I wouldn't really go for that. And it just shows everyone's different. Like there's someone who could be really attracted to that and someone who just isn't. So there is, yeah, I don't know. I always hold on to these little cliches. Like there's someone out there for everybody. So there's someone out there who'd love a fucking power lifter or to, and then so yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. Actually, speaking of that, did you see that new Netflix documentary, Arnold?
I saw the trailer. No, actually, you have to remind me. I must watch it now.
Oh man, it is fucking amazing. I mean, you've got to watch Schwarzenegger. I mean, he was the 7-time Mr. Universe or Olympia bodybuilder, and then he's Hollywood movie star, then he's governor of California twice over. The guy is he's one of the most unbelievable human beings that's ever walked this planet, I think. Now, obviously not for the cheating and all that, but just, you know, career-wise, focus-wise, let's do this, I can do this, and adapt to different situations. The guy is unreal. It's well worth it, man. It's like 3 episodes, 3 hours, 1 hour each. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I must watch that now. You have to remind me. And what I love about Schwarzenegger is I have a fascination for the underdog. I don't know what it is. Just I love to see someone who wasn't meant to get anything in their life and wasn't meant to amount anything. Like he came from a little village in Austria, and he was just seeing what was happening. There was poverty, and there was, I suppose, like a lot of the world, there was poverty. There was nothing going on. It was very grim. He said, "Look, I'm going to go to America." And I said, "This is what I'm going to do. Like, you mightn't agree with me or see what I'm trying to do, but this is what I am so fascinated with that. I just love that so much. To just think there's something so impressive in that someone says, no, I'm not going to just stay here because you said I should stay here, and I'm going to do this even if no one on this earth thinks I can do it." I just think that's so. I don't know. I just makes me happy hearing stories that I just love. I don't know. It's just great. Like,
yeah, man, it is. And actually, I think I'm not 100% on this one now, but I read an article, I think somewhere, or it was something on YouTube. But as far as I know, like Schwarzenegger's dad was a Nazi.
Really? Yeah. I actually don't. Possibly. Yeah. I actually don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like if you look at the timeline too, it was, you know, around when Schwarzenegger was born. I think Schwarzenegger was just a little bit younger. I mean, he could have gone into the Hitler Youth. I mean, because all of them did that day. So like, it wasn't that he wanted to go into the Nazi Youth. He fucking would have been a Hitler Youth. He would have been probably shoved in there because they had to do it those days. Like, fucking lucky boy to escape that shit, man.
Lucky man, yeah. How different your life could be, like, you know.
Oh,
over in America, like, imagine that you end up in the fucking Nazi Youth as a young lad, and you just get brainwashed into this different kind of world. Like, the chances of him going off to America, and like he wasn't, you know, you're not going to be as open minded when you're stuck in the fucking Hitler Youth program. Like, I can guarantee you, the amount of propaganda shoved into your face would be unbelievable. So, whatever chance the young lad had getting out of Austria, he said it would have been fucking slim after that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And did you know that, are you into World War II?
No, not really, no.
Right. Did you know, but like, did you ever hear that they think Hitler fled to South America?
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah. Argentina. The body that they found in Berlin did not match up with the dental records for Hitler.
Jeez, that's a new one on me now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's in fact, I was watching Joe Rogan, and there was this Tim Kennedy. He was on it, and he has this program, Hunting Hitler. It's actually fucking pretty good because I'm obsessed now with World War II. But like, they went on this massive search because there was rumors CIA documents came out, and they were even looking for Hitler in the 70s, and I think the 60s too, maybe even the 50s. But it was all hush hush. Obviously, they wanted to find the fucker, didn't want word to get out that they thought he was obviously, you know, gone somewhere else. But history, as they believe it, is actually wrong. He wasn't in the bunker in fucking Berlin, World War II.
Jeez, I must start researching that now. That's interesting.
You should, man. Yeah, I mean, literally, it's a very simple YouTube search. Joe Rogan, Tim Kennedy, Hitler, South America, something like that. Yeah, it's fucking fascinating. It's really good, man. Really good. And your man Kennedy, like he's an ex-Afghanistan troop, so you know he's on the ball. He knows what he's talking about. They know how to search for people, you know.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, that's very interesting. Yeah, I like all them kind of we'll say conspiracy theories that like go against the kind of mainstream thinking of people. I kind of like I don't know how there's a lot of them I kind of get thrown at me sometimes, and I kind of think, Jesus, did you just come up with that there 2 minutes ago? But yeah, a lot of them are very interesting now. Yeah.
And what do you make of UFOs?
UFOs, I don't know. I've no research gone into them at all, so I just know what they are. That's literally all I know, to be honest. But you know, it's something I'd like to look at actually again. I must try to get into a few things like that, reading about them, because they are definitely very interesting. Like
I've got my tinfoil hat on because I'm a believer that they do exist. Do you believe that aliens exist?
Don't know. They could. Maybe they are. Don't know. Actually,
you don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. You're springing the deep questions on me now. I actually don't know.
Well, you know, there's another one for you. And anybody listening here, if you're into UFOs, like Joe Rogan, Bob Lazar, Joe Rogan, Jeremy Corbell, like Bob Lazar is the guy from back in the 80s. He apparently worked in Area 51. They've got 9 alien spacecrafts there. He was working on one of them. And a lot of stuff he said back in the days has come true now in the last 20, 30 years. So like you could YouTube that, Bob Lazar, Joe Rogan. It's fucking fascinating, man. Fascinating. I was only watching it last night. It just popped into my head there again now. I'm obsessed with this shit. Tinfoil hat on here, like I mean,
it's a whole different world though as well, isn't it? Like you go into this different universe and like you just it's interesting. It's kind of nice and freeing. Like, you know, it gets you away from all the fucking misery of the real world. Like, you know, you can think about something else.
Yeah, man, we need a couple of distractions, all right, especially where things are right now. Fucking hell.
Fucking
and you know, actually, it was funny because I've started doing this and I've been more strict on it, like getting away from your phone. Like I must spend about 9-10 hours a day because I'm posting every day on social media. I'm doing this or doing that. So like my office is my phone. But what I find actually is that just even if you take like a 10, 15 minute, 20 minute break, but it's designed, right? That's it. I ain't fucking looking at my phone right now for the next 20 minutes. Even if you put a reminder or an alarm clock that goes off every single day at the exact same time, and then you have one that finishes at us 20 minutes later, all right, now I can look at my phone. And it's amazing the routine you can get into. I found that, I don't even know why I thought of that, but it fucking just, even a 20-minute break from your phone is fucking heaven, man. Heaven.
All this shit, like all the things have been kind of the people, like the 21st century comforts. Like I'm trying to just not be at them all the time, because I don't know how much I'd spend on my phone a day. Maybe definitely not 9 or 10 hours in it, but 3 or 4 hours. But yeah, like that, which is still probably too much now. I'd probably be similar to you though, where I would actually be using it for good stuff sometimes. Like I wouldn't just be scrolling on fucking TikTok. Like most of the things I would do would be some way useful. Obviously, then there would be an hour of just like sitting back like a fucking lazy cunt, just like not doing anything useful. So I'd already want to cut out some of that. Like I think some of that in moderation is good. Like I don't think people should punish themselves for like just sitting back and scrolling on TikTok for half an hour or something a day or something. But when it gets to 3 or 4 hours and like you're watching telly and you start like it's mad how you can just waste away your life. Just you wouldn't even notice. Like you just wasted away doing meaningless shit that you could doing something else. Even just going out for a walk is better than you might say you haven't achieved that, but you've still achieved more than sitting on your phone looking at TikTok. Like you're not going to achieve anything sitting in there. Like
yeah, I never look at what I'm posting every day, and the fact that I post every day, I don't scroll through TikTok, I don't scroll through Instagram, Facebook. I fucking couldn't care less what anybody else is doing on there, because I can't handle my phone. I'm on it so much. I can't handle being on it again for even an extra 5 minutes of scrolling. I'll do it every now and then, but too much, man, too much. And I'd say you're probably the same. The fact that you use it for your stuff then you don't use it. You wouldn't use it as much for leisure. Then would you be the same like that?
I'm trying to, yeah. Like I do.
Yeah.
You know, you just get fucking into a habit of it. You'd start checking and it'd be pointless. Like I notice all you'd be checking is like someone, like if anyone's posting nothing on their story, it's like, what the fuck are you gonna learn from it? Like someone posts one thing on their story, like, oh, they might be in Hamburg today or something. It's like, why the fuck? Like, did you ever notice that actually gives you a bit of a dopamine hit? I don't know why that someone posted something on their story. I don't understand why. It makes no sense whatsoever. That you kind of like when you see there's loads of people with stuff posted. So I don't know, is it the nosiness thing that you're like, oh yeah, that's just to get to look at see what someone's doing. And I don't know, you get almost like a very subtle little kick out of like seeing someone's doing something, or just you get to learn something else about someone. I don't know what it is. Very weird.
That's it. That's interesting. I'm fascinated by that because is it because it's instant? It's like, oh, Peter's in Germany. Oh, Peter's in Germany right now. Is that what you mean? Kind of like an instant, real time.
I don't know. Maybe people just like to know shit. I don't know. They just like to know stuff about other people, and I don't know. Maybe that's part of it. Yeah, I don't know. Now, one thing I've kind of started getting into is like just getting into actually informational stuff. Like if I'm going to scroll, like I have an account where I just scroll and like actual informational stuff. There's bits of stuff on like psychology, and there's the odd like just kind of like some like fucking famous quotes and shit like that. Like I think when you're doing that, it's not as bad. Like it's better than like scrolling like a picture of a cat eating a donut or something like for fucking 3 hours straight. Like, because that's the shit you end up. That's the loot you can like. TikTok could be so useful, or Instagram, but it's just about what kind of wormhole you go down, like or rabbit hole, whatever you want to call it. Like you could end up going down them fucking cats eating donuts videos. You could go down the business videos, or whatever you want to go into. Like if you're trying to like even date and psychology, whatever. Like there's so much things you could learn. Like it's such an educational tool, but obviously it's kind of how you use it. Really, it's interesting though.
It is, man. It is, and how you use it. And actually, do you know what, dude? I need to wrap this up. Jesus Christ, an hour and 5 minutes we were talking. Flies, man. We must do another one soon again. 100%, dude. 100%. Actually, I only do you know what is funny? Just before we went online, but 20 minutes beforehand, there's a bit of information. Actually, I wanted to tell people before you tell us about your podcast. By the way, Amazon. I do a bit of shopping on Amazon every now and then, right? Now, I have 2 bank cards on Amazon on file. One, my primary one, was out of date, and I didn't realize because I don't use it that much. So a couple of months ago, I ordered a mattress topper, right, off Amazon. It came, I had a nightmare trying to get the fucking thing to return. And what happened was when I ordered it, I got an email from them saying your payment was declined. The old expired card, right? So I was thinking, oh, fuck, I need to update that thing. Grand, okay. So I went, do you know what? I'll do it tomorrow. I couldn't be arsed. So all of a sudden, it was a charge that came out. And I didn't realize that they automatically went on to my second card when the first one failed. But I got an email to say that the first one failed. So I just automatically assumed, okay, well, grand. So then what I did is I went in the next morning and reordered the mattress without knowing that it charged on the second card. So I actually bought 2 fucking mattresses, right? So I just actually wanted to tell people because I think what they do is they have that setting turned on in your settings where it'll automatically go to your second card on file. Even if you get an email saying payment's been declined, it'll try the second one. And I think it's a bit of a sneaky move, man. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But it fucking felt sneaky to me. But anybody that's shopping on Amazon, check that out because I think they have it automatically turned on where, it goes from first to the second card. And I got charged twice.
Jeez, that's a sickener, that is.
Oh, it was fucking sickening, man. It was sickening. And, you got to be on the ball with this shit, man. It's so easy. Like, I can tell you this for a fact. I didn't go into my Amazon account and turn that thing on to go from straight from my first to my second. Do you know?
I didn't even know you'd have 2 cards linked to it. I thought it would only be one. I didn't even know anyone would have 2 cards linked to it.
Quite honestly, I don't even know myself. I don't shop on Amazon that much, so I presume I put on 2 cards. I must have. That's what I'm assuming. But yeah, you can have 2 cards on file on Amazon. And their return policy is a fucking joke, guys. It's a joke. I couldn't get rid of this mattress topper at all. And they give you this fucking address, and the mattress was over 25 fucking kilos, and they wouldn't return it in the post office or the courier that originally brought it to me. So just so you know, guys, anything over 25 kilos, you're fucked. Or over 20 kilos, you're fucked. Even the original delivery driver won't return it for you, even though apparently it's a free return for you.
Just shows, they couldn't give a fuck. Once you bought it off them, that's their business done with you.
Couldn't give a fuck. Yeah. So I hope that's a bit of useful information to anybody out there. Just be careful with your Amazon account. Like it's fucking dodgy. And come here, dude. Tell us about your podcast.
So Ballinakill Buzz is the name of it. It's I'll actually spell it because it's a tough one to spell. So it's Ballina and then Kill. Tough to spell yourself. So Ballinakill Buzz is the name of it. So we have roughly 1 or 2 episodes a week. There's kind of some where I talk on my own and some where I've guests on. So I've actually had Peter on a few weeks ago. I'll probably get you on again. So, but yeah, it's just kind of pure shite talk, really. There's different topics. There's never anything too serious. It's just a bit of a chat. And I do think there's an episode there for everybody. There's some topic that everyone would like, even if you like the solo episodes, which is just me rambling on my own. I find them quite calming sometimes. So, but yeah, there's something everyone would like. I'm trying to get 100 episodes this year as well. So, yeah, if you get a chance to support, we're actually on Instagram as well. Ballinakill Buzz, just that. So if you have nothing else to do and you're for the next hour, sure, fucking look at an episode like it won't kill you, like. So yeah.
Yeah, and Guy, and the listeners out there, honestly, like he's 20 years of age, and I'm sure you can see, like, he's got a good head on his shoulders. He really does, and I've listened to it. I genuinely have. When I was a guest on your show, I listened to an episode the night before, just to see what it's all about, etc. And like, just genuine talk. Like I could tell that you're not putting on a fucking show. There's no bullshit. You're just actually just chatting about things. And in fairness, even for a 20-year-old, like, I'm not saying every 20-year-old's dumb or anything. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like you boys were going into depth conversation. Like, it was good. It was really good. So
it's a bit of crack, sure. It's something to do, and it keeps me out of trouble.
Yeah, exactly. So listen, dude, that was great, and I better hit the road here. Thanks for joining, my man, and we'll definitely we'll go on a podcast again soon.
Absolutely, I've enjoyed it, Peter. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you too, man. It was a great fun. Thanks, man.
No worries. See you.
See you, everybody. Bye bye.